Super Chevy dealers. It's time to talk LSU football on the flagship home of the Tigers. Call 225-499-9898. It's Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, here's Charles Hannegriff and Richard Dixon.
Let's take the early lead and go wire to wire in Fayetteville as LSU wins it 34-10 over Arkansas. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Eagle 98.1 Game Day. I'm Charles Hannegriff, along with former Tiger Richard Dixon. Most of LSU's trips to Fayetteville have resembled a trip to the endodontist. That's the guy that gives root canals, because so many of these games have felt like pulling teeth. But tonight, LSU came out and did something that they haven't done in very many games this year, which is take control of the game in the first quarter. Not that it was not without its nervous moments for portions of the middle of the game, but the Tigers played about as complete a ball game as you can. 4 drives in the first half all resulted in scores, and even with Arkansas holding LSU to field goals on 3 of those drives, it felt like the offense was executing at a pretty high level. Only the final drive of the first half, which LSU was forced to start at their own 2-yard line with a little over a minute to go, did not produce points. LSU took a 16-7 lead into the locker room and was fully in control of the action. The only part of this game where it felt like there was a little bit of the possibility that Arkansas could climb back into this thing was early in the second half. Arkansas took the opening drive of the third quarter and went down and got a field goal. LSU would answer with a drive that went into Arkansas territory, but the one thing that kept this from being pretty much a perfect game for LSU besides red zone execution was the penalties. The drive that carried into Arkansas territory was stymied by 3 penalties against the Tigers. 1 a holding call on Emory Jones, 1 an offensive pass interference on Kyron Lacey, and another the one of half a dozen false start calls in the game that stymied the LSU drive. LSU would punt the football away to Arkansas, and the Hogs would take over at their own 14-yard line with right about 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. At that point, it's a 16-10 game. If Arkansas can put a drive together there, even if they don't score a touchdown, we're headed for a fourth quarter that would be like that trip to the endodontist. And that's where the play of the game was made by Whit Weeks, who it seemed like there were 3 of him out there for most of the night. With the number, this is the second week in a row. Really, he's been doing this all year, but especially the last 2 weeks. Weeks with the tip, the interception, and a point-blank touchdown from the 2-yard line put LSU up 24-10 after the 2-point conversion to Trey'Dez Green, and the Tigers kind of coasted in from there. Just to put the exclamation point on it, with LSU leading 27-10, they got the ball back with a little over 10 minutes to go and went on a, dare I say, a Les Miles type drive to just take the heart right out of your opponent. 14 plays, 80 yards, 8 minutes and 22 seconds. 12 of the 14 plays were runs. They punch it in with 2:20 to go to make it 34-10, and that was the final score. All the things that we've been asking for happened in this game, or most of the things that we've been asking for happened in this game. LSU got out to a good start. They took the opening kickoff. They went down. They scored a touchdown, and they last week they led. Never. Yeah. They kicked they won the game on the last play. They never snapped the ball with the lead last week. This week, they go down, they score the opening touchdown, and they lead it wire to wire. We asked that the run game get going. It got going. I don't care what the numbers say versus maybe a couple of the rental wins, but the ability for LSU to move the football on the ground was there tonight. Durham had over 100 yards. He had 3 touchdowns, and LSU averaged over 4.3 yards per carry. They were able to stop the run. This Arkansas offense, which is predicated on a big physical back and a quarterback that can use his feet, was held to 38 yards on 19 carries tonight. They were charged with keeping Taylor Green in the pocket, and I give him credit because he made way more throws from that pocket than I figured he would, but LSU was able to turn the ball over 3 times. They got him to throw an interception. That was the Weeks play. There were 2 fumbles. LSU picked them both up. So they win the turnover battle 3-0. LSU was able to keep drive after drive going. They converted 9 out of 15 on third down. So when you look at Nussmeier's numbers tonight, he threw for 235 yards on 35 attempts. It looks like a relatively modest 6.7 yards per attempt, but so many of those passes kept drives going, Rich.
Well, they were going to play soft coverage. They were taking the 4- and 5-yard hitch routes all day long, keeping drives moving. I mean, if we'd have talked before the game, I'd have said Green has a higher completion percentage than Nussmeier, more touchdowns and more yards. I wouldn't be sitting here so happy. I mean, for what he was able to do. But what Nussmeier did is he just kept drives going. He took the quick outs, the short yardage situations, and they just kept the ball moving. I mean, you had a 4-minute 40-second drive, a 5-minute 43-second drive, a 5-minute 15, 4:55, 4:39, 8:22. The 8:22 is the killer.
That meant a 38, nearly 39-21 edge in time of possession. And LSU spent a decent amount of that time in Arkansas territory. Damian Ramos, who got the game ball tonight, was perfect on his field goals tonight. So even though the red zone production maybe wasn't exactly what you would have liked, you'd like to score more touchdowns. This one could have been a lot worse. The fact that you've got a kicker that you can rely on to make the kicks that he's supposed to make, and he had a career long tonight as well. So these were not all just gimmies. And LSU controlled the action in a way that, honestly, I didn't expect, Rich. I thought they had a good chance to win this game, but I thought it would be like most of the other ones. I should know better by now. Oh, well, this is what's going to happen because that's what happened before. Look around college football, man. That ain't the case, okay? This be it the 12-team playoff or the radical conference realignment that we're in our first year of. Call it whatever you want, the transfer portal, but that's been around for a while. And the things that you expect to happen in college football, man, they ain't no gimmies. And I'll tell you what else there's not. We watched Georgia dismantle Texas, bad calls and debris on the field aside. This is the only time I can remember this in the time I've been covering college football. There is not a team that I look at and go, man, those guys are good. It's going to take a complete effort to beat them. Since I've been doing this, there's been an Alabama, there's been a Florida, there's been an Ohio State, there's been a Texas with Vince Young, there's been a USC with Reggie Bush, there's been an LSU with Joe Burrow, there's been one or two or even three teams that have been out there, and I'm talking about at this point in this season, nearing the end of October, where you go, okay, those guys are the favorites. They don't have that team doesn't exist right now. I suspect Oregon will be number one in the country when we start this thing on Monday. But I watched Boise State take them to the final gun. This thing is wide open.
It's the most parity in college football I think I've ever seen. You think you have a dominant team, then somebody shows up. You know, Vanderbilt beats Alabama, Alabama beats Georgia, Georgia beats Texas. I mean, every week somebody's getting upset to where it looks like that, you know, you don't know what to expect from week to week.
I'm very happy that there is not a 4-team playoff this year. Because if there was, I wouldn't want to be in that room. But 12 teams.
I'd hate all of them.
This is going to be fun. And LSU is right here in the thick of things. The loss to USC, he continues to look worse by the week, but the team looks much better. They have improved so much since we left Las Vegas that you look at LSU, and I'm willing to play anybody. I'm not saying they would beat everybody, but they're not any worse. Okay, yeah. There's not a team out there that is great on offense and defense and special teams and has one or two special players. Everybody's got some holes. LSU's got some holes, but they're closing them. This defense is so much better than it was a month ago. And when you got a quarterback like Garrett Nussmeier that can make plays, then you can go out there and you got a chance against anybody. I'm not saying they got the best roster or the best schedule remaining or anything like that. I'm just telling you they got enough to beat anybody. Yeah,
I mean, this defense, they gave up a lot of crossing routes today. That Arkansas kept the ball moving. I mean, the first drive, they had a missed field goal. We get a turnover on the first play of the next drive. Then they drive the field, score a touchdown. They were moving the ball, but this defense stops them every time they need to stop. It's just they make the plays when they got to make them.
They've allowed 1 touchdown in the last 6 quarters, and that's plus an overtime.
Yeah.
And that's against Ole Miss and Arkansas, who've got some nice wins on the board. This one was good. It sets up an even bigger one next week in College Station. You heard Hunt on the network. Games at 6:30, and these will be the only 2. We all had this, right? Only 2 remaining unbeaten teams in Southeastern Conference play. After week 1, when LSU lost to USC and Texas A&M lost to Notre Dame, you said, well, when those teams get to the end of October and they play in College Station, they're going to be the only 2 undefeateds left in the league. How many times did I say that, Rich? Oh, wait, none.
Yeah, all summer.
None. Not a single one. 499-9898 is the number to call on the LaBerge hotline. We're looking forward to hearing from you. Tigers win at 34-10. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Before every game, you're reminded that Tiger Stadium is a pantheon of concrete and steel. When it was time to add upper decks, do you know where that concrete came from? It's Louisiana Concrete Products. Whether it's the next Gulf hurricane or Death Valley earthquake, you can trust Louisiana Concrete Products.
What is it that makes people do the things they do? To dominate the football field after our sports medicine experts skillfully repaired Gerard's foot. And to get back in the race after our cardiovascular specialists removed life-threatening blockages in Adam's heart. Whatever your reasons are for doing the things you do, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Baton Rouge. Long live you. Learn more at ochsner.org/longliveyoubr.
The Toyota Tundra's powerful, available iForce V6 engine means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. To your cousins, the Tundra means as they jump off the boat onto the sandbar. To your co-pilots, the Tundra means an extra comfortable journey. And to you, the Tundra means whoa. Toyota is a proud sponsor of LSU Athletics. Go big or go home in a 2025 Tundra. Built to take you wherever the road leads. Find yours today. Toyota, let's go places. See packages and options at toyota.com for feature availability.
We all know there's something special by growing up in Louisiana. Our culture, our history, how we care for each other cannot be matched anywhere in the world. The same goes for Louisiana Dental Center. Local dentists helping local people just like you and me. And of course, for years, proud partners of our beloved LSU Fighting Tigers. Louisiana Dental Center, your dental home team. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Go Tigers!
This is Will Campbell with the Tigers. Louisiana National Bank is committing to making every interaction with its customers an experience that's more exceptional than any you've ever encountered. If you're looking for a teammate to help you achieve your financial dreams, come see one of the Louisiana National Bank's uncommon bankers. Equal housing lender. Member FDIC.
LaBerge Casino Hotel Baton Rouge and ESPN Bet want to help you get ready for football season. Download the ESPN Bet app today and explore our action-packed online sportsbook with exclusive odds boosts and cutting-edge features. Then stop in at LaBerge to catch the action in person. ESPN Bet, Baton Rouge's new home for sports, is now open. Watch every game on our giant screen TVs, plus score great food and drink specials all season. Join us for all the excitement at LaBerge Baton Rouge. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
It's always great to have a winning edge. And when you're in a professional-grade GMC, you can tackle every day like a champ when you take the field in the GMC Yukon Denali Ultimate. Break from the huddle of ordinary with 15-inch diagonal head-up display. Great for long-scoring drives. And whether at home or away, travel in 16-way power front seats with massage features in your GMC Yukon. Test drive a game-winning Yukon today at your Bayou GMC dealer.
Your home is your palace, and you want to stay there. And when you think of your bathroom, there's one company that specializes in 3 things: safety, security, and accessibility. One Bath & Closets. They can install grab bars where you need them, a non-slip floor, and a seat for a fully accessible shower you can enjoy for years to come and feel safe and secure. One Bath & Closets. Call for a quote today, 400-8005, or online at onebathandclosets.com. 225-400-8005. If you're looking to give your career a shakeup, let me tell you about River Parish Contractors. Jake there is always on the hunt for pipe fitters, iron workers, rig welders, civil carpenters, and more. You can be a part of this large local workforce in South Louisiana where it's fun to come to work. River Parish Contractors offers competitive pay and excellent benefits, and it's right here at home. Call and talk to Jake about it, or visit rpcontractors.com to apply online. That's rpcontractors.com.
Eagle 98.1.
Eagle 98.1 Game Day continues. Tigers win it by a score of 34-10. 499-9898 is the number on the LeBarge hotline. Let's start with Glenn in New Mexico. Glenn, welcome into the show. Hey, Glenn.
Hey, just a couple things. The last possession of the first half for LSU, do you guys agree with them basically just sitting on it? And with LSU up 17 with like 4 minutes left, why is Nuss keeping the ball and running and risking an injury? Either way, go Tigers, MAGA.
You know, the end of the first half, I wouldn't have minded if they would have sat on the ball.
You start on the 2-yard line.
When you start on the 2-yard line, it was 1:09 to go.
Yeah.
Usually what you do in that situation is you run something fairly safe, and if you can pop it for a decent gain and get into a decent field position, then you go ahead and you go with it. So if they had just run it 3 times, made Arkansas extinguish their timeouts, and tried to, massage one first down out of it and get out of there from the 15-yard line, I would have understood. But they get they run the little half roll to Daniels for 7, and then they get the pass interference on Arkansas. And when they got that, the clock was at 53 seconds. So you've got you're out at about the 24-yard line, and you've got 53 seconds to go, and you got 2 timeouts. Well, at that point, I thought that they would try something, and they did. And they let it run all the way down to 14 seconds. Arkansas also had timeouts left. I think they had 2. So they obviously don't want to do anything that's going to give Arkansas the ball back. So I thought they would either sit on it, or if they tried to do something, which they did, they threw 2 passes. If they got out of, that bad field position, I thought, well, maybe they'll try to do something now. So I was surprised they kind of split the difference. They got themselves out of the bad field position, and then they sat on it.
If I remember it correctly, I think on the pass interference call, that wasn't a very smart throw. I mean, it was very easily could have been picked. It was tight coverage, and I think that's what scared them away. They were going to go for it. They got out on the first pass play. They gave them the option to throw another one. It was an iffy call or iffy decision. It was very easily interceptable. And then they were like, okay, let's just get out of here.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. And as far as Nussmeier running on,
we've been asking him to do it for so long.
Yeah,
just bad timing.
Did you see him on the sideline?
Oh, he was fist pumping, excited. It looked like he was smiling, looking to the sideline, like, "Look, I kept it."
You think he's heard it?
Oh, he's heard it for sure.
Yeah. So, yeah, we want you to run on 4th and 2 against Ole Miss when you really need it. When you're up 24 points with 4 minutes to go, no, I don't want you running at that point.
But you know what? If anything, he kept the deadgum ball. Maybe he gets a little bit of comfortability doing it, and we can continue to run the zone read.
It was silly.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, let's call it what it was. It was silly.
Him smiling at the sideline.
That's
after
fine.
he did it was funny.
That's fine. No, it was very funny.
Yeah.
Because he didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
He separates his damn shoulder, then it's not going to be funny at all.
Well, especially the way the game went. I felt like he was injured all night long. Every time he got up limping. He limped all night long early on. So especially now that I'm putting it all together, then running it late in the 4th quarter, I'm like, you've been gimpy all night long. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. So, no, trust me, I don't think the sideline was real keen on him doing that. 499-9898 is the number. Earl and Gonzales. Earl, welcome into the show.
Hey, Charles, how you doing, buddy?
Good.
Good.
Yeah, so maybe you can explain. I don't know if it's like me or I know we have SEC East West. We used to have it, but is this going back to like the 80s where we don't have like a conference like alignment? So how does that work when it comes to the playoffs?
Well, the playoff is a committee, but the SEC championship game, well, you've got a multitude of tiebreakers here, and basically it's after you get past head-to-head, if you've got a multiple-team tiebreaker, it goes based on who you've played and, from the top down. So just to tell you, if right now you've got 2 undefeated teams, but the next, Georgia and Tennessee and Missouri all have 1 loss. So does Texas now and Vandy. You go with who they played. Just trust me, it's a complicated tiebreaker. I'm gonna lose.
I'll let somebody else just tell me.
I'm gonna lose. I'll lose you if I just read it to you, because it's basically you're talking about common opponents and playing them from the top down. But what I've been wondering, and I'm gonna have to wonder all the way to the end of this thing is, are you better off going to the SEC championship game at 10-2 and losing, or being 10-2, losing the tiebreaker, not playing in that game and staying home?
Yeah,
and we're talking. This could be as many as 4 teams we're talking about.
Yeah.
There are right now 3, 6, 7 teams with 1 loss or less in the league. Now we got plenty. We got a whole November to go. But I could see a scenario where there are 2, maybe even 3 teams that are vying for the second spot in Atlanta, and they'll all be about 10-2.
Yeah.
Now, if LSU runs out or A&M runs out, then no. But how would the committee look at that? How would they say, if you are 10-2 and you go to the SEC championship game and you lose, and up until this point, I've been saying, well, you lose to maybe a number 1 Texas. Well, Texas ain't number 1 anymore, and neither is Georgia. Alabama definitely isn't. So now you're going to lose to somebody. There are no undefeated teams left in the conference when you talk about all the games, and there's only 2 left that don't have a loss in conference play, and that's LSU and A&M are playing next week. So we get to the end of October, you're going to have 1 undefeated SEC team in conference play, and that's it. Going to get real complicated.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird spot because, I mean, the SEC championship was so important for so long. And right now, if you got a top 10 spot without making it to the championship game, it's essentially an extra bye week. Like, I don't know. I mean, you put yourself on the level of, this couple conference champions win in and you get knocked out, but it's very strange to me. I don't know how to feel about this because the SEC champion does not seem as important anymore.
Let me play it. Well, let me play it the other way. Let's say LSU were to get to the conference championship game against whoever, doesn't even matter, with a 10-2 record. They lose one of these games somewhere down the line, but they get in. And they play the SEC championship game and they lose it on a field goal at the end of the game. Well, if you win that game, you're not only in the playoff, you're getting a bye. You're going to be a top 4. The SEC champion will be a top 4 seed without question. So are we really going to say that, let's say LSU loses to A&M next week, but then runs out, okay? I think that would do it. I don't know what their deal would be against a 10-2 Georgia. But anyway, for argument's sake, you're going to tell me that the difference between LSU being a top 4 national seed or out of the playoff altogether is a field goal at the end of the SEC championship game? That's hard for me to digest.
Yeah, I mean,
which is why I think that the loser of the SEC championship game is going to get in,
even if it's the 3rd loss.
That's what I don't know.
That's where I get it.
And I don't have any historical perspective to go to.
None.
So this is the first year we're doing this. So we're all kind of doing this without a net now.
I think you're better at 10-2 not making it than being 10-2 making it and getting a loss.
You may be right. I think you've got a hell of a compelling case if you go through a Southeastern Conference schedule and with the tiebreakers and everything, you say, we were the second best team.
Yeah.
And I say that not knowing if that's going to affect LSU or not. Hell, LSU could win next week. They may be the number 1 seed going. They may go to Atlanta at 11-1 and have a place in the playoff locked up, win or lose. Could happen.
It's strange. I mean, the parity in the SEC right now makes this a lot more confusing.
Vanderbilt at the current moment holds a half-game lead plus a tiebreaker over Alabama.
Last year,
I really wanted to put that in the show. I just had to put that in somewhere.
At some point, maybe in the old days, they might be leading the East. No, because you got Vanderbilt or you got Tennessee.
You would have Georgia's 4-1 in conference play, so they would be leading the East, but they would all be even in the loss column.
They've already played 5 conference games.
They have.
Goodness.
Yeah. 499-9898 is the number to call. Craig's in New Iberia. Craig, welcome into the show.
Yeah, solid win. Solid win. This team is getting better and better every week. Really impressed with the defense. Offense is Nussmar is making some really good decisions, throwing the ball. I really like where we are. It's kind of, it's wide open this year, and I think we have as good a chance as anybody to make a deep run. Maybe don't want to say win the national championship, but I think right now we have as good a chance as anybody because everybody every week top team seems to fall, and everybody doesn't look as invincible as they were. Like Texas, they look like they were world beaters, and Georgia, beat them, and Georgia, it isn't a great team. I mean, they're a good team, but I mean, they're not, they're not a world beater. So I mean, it's a wide open thing. It's going to be exciting from here on out, and I really like LSU chances.
Thank you. Appreciate the call. I agree, and it's not that I'm over the moon about this team right this second. I think this team right this second is good. I think they're a lot better than they were a month ago. What I'm banking on is that if they make improvement over the next month the way they did the last month, then you're really going to have something when you get to Thanksgiving. If what we saw tonight is a step in the right direction, you got off to the good start, okay? You're still able to protect Nussmeier against a pretty good pass rush. You were able to run the football. You were able to stop the run. Those have been problems. You didn't turn the ball over. Your special teams were sound. Your kicker made all of his kicks. The penalties were frustrating, especially because they were all legit. I mean,
seven false starts in the first half or 6 false starts.
I mean, those are penalties. I mean, you got to call them, but it's a easily cleaned up.
Yeah, we hadn't done that all year long. I mean, we did it early on. Last couple games were clean. It was frustrating at this point because I get it on the road. It happens once. It happens twice. You get the nerves knocked out. It happens 6 or 7 times in the first half.
Yeah,
that's a problem.
It was loud at South Carolina. I can't imagine it was just the noise.
No, I mean,
something else.
It's just guys. You got a lot of guys thinking with a lot of pressure. I think that they were trying to get the run game going. I mean, you look in the first 2 drives, we were averaging over 8-9 yards a carry. I mean, we really had things going, but guys were trying to get a jump. And it wasn't just one guy. You had the center have 2. I think Emory had 1. Campbell had 1. I mean,
one was on the receiver. One was on Lacey, I believe.
Then later you had Anderson have 1. I mean, it was across the field tonight.
499-9898 is the number to call. We're brought to you by Supreme Rice and SupremeRice.com. Try the new parboiled rice, the closest thing you're going to get to a restaurant rice. Pick it up wherever you buy rice. And support our Louisiana farmers. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, and processed down in southwest Louisiana since the 1930s. They're part of the Climate Smart program, talking about reducing methane emissions and promoting water conservation for future generations of Louisiana farmers. So whether you get the parboiled rice or the jasmine, the brown, the long grain, the medium grain, Supreme Rice is perfect for your jambalayas, for your stews, for your etouffees, for your gumbos as the weather gets a little bit colder. Pick it up the next time you are buying rice. Supreme Rice. For more information, go to SupremeRice.com. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Running Board's digital advertising is now here. Eye-level, high-resolution digital screens driving around town, reaching over 100,000 eyes every day. Video, animation, and QR codes. Trucks also available to rent exclusively by the hour. Jorco.biz, JORCO.biz.
You can find Rouse's Market's brand of products on every aisle of their stores. These are the best quality products at the best price and compared to leading national brands that Rouse's Market sells, but at a lower cost. Most of Rouse's Market's brand is made right here at home. But Rouse's Markets travels the world too, and they personally taste and try and guarantee everything in their brand. So if the Rouse's Market's name is on the label, you can trust it's good.
This is former LSU pitcher and avid outdoorsman Ben McDonald. If you're looking for that perfect hunting property or raw land out in the country, do what I did and call First South Farm Credit. Visit them online at firstsouthland.com.
Get ready for your next adventure in a new Silverado from Service Chevrolet Cadillac. Take $12,500 off the MSRP of a new 2024 Silverado Crew Cab 1500 RST or LT. Or take $13,500 off with trade assistance at Service Chevrolet Cadillac, your super Chevy dealer. Stop by or log on at servicegm.com. Chevy, together let's drive. LT package 5.3 VA dealer discount 8,000. GM rebate 4,500. Trade rebate 1,000. Must trade 2010 or newer. Branded scrap or salvage titles are not acceptable. In-stock units plus tax title license and fees. Offers expire on 10/31/24.
Hey, Tiger fans! Get game ready at Alumni Hall.
Your ultimate purple and gold shopping experience. Upgrade your tailgate gear. Shop officially licensed LSU clothing for the family. Or load up on hats, gifts, and accessories. Keep track of your purchases with our Hall Pass rewards, and you'll get $10 in rewards for every $150 spent. And LSU students, faculty, and all military receive 10% off when shopping in store. Alumni Hall, located in Perkins Row, or alumnihall.com. Where Tiger fans shop.
It's an evening full of sophistication and style at Ralph's Market Fall Wine Gala, Friday, November 1st at Price LeBlanc Pace Center in Gonzales. Get a touch of 007 glamour and be shaken, not stirred, as you sample the stellar lineup of wines perfectly paired with the amazing food and clandestine charm. Channel your inner secret agent and come dressed in your best so you can shine on the red carpet. Tickets are just $69.99 and all proceeds go to charity. For tickets and more info, visit ralphsag.com. Get ready for game day with Juno's Cajun Meats. Voted best boudin in Louisiana, they've got all your tailgating essentials, boudin, cracklins, and specialty meats. Visit in Irwinville, Marksville, or Franklinton. Juno's Cajun Meats. Eat more boudin.
No tricks, only treats at Sterling Kia in Lafayette.
Take $6,000 off the MSRP or finance at 2.99% APR for 72 months on all remaining new 2024 Kia Sportage X-Pro Prestige in stock. No time to make the drive? Let Sterling deliver your new Kia to you. Start shopping online. SterlingKiaLafayette.com. Sterling Kia, where we drive for excellence. Dealer discount $3,000. Kia Motor America bonus cash $3,000. $1,544 per month for $1,000 borrowed. Finance with Kia Motor America. WAC plus TTNL. Offers end 10/31/24. Complimentary delivery 250 miles from dealership.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
With WCK, your home will be okay. With WCK, you're on solid ground today. A reputation for a strong foundation makes us leaders among peers. WCK Foundation Repair. WCK, a leader among peers. WCK.
Eagle 98.1.
Eagle 98.1 game day continues. 34-10, the Tigers win it tonight, move to 6-1 on the season, 3-0 Southeastern Conference play. 499-9898 is the number to call on the LaBerge hotline. Matt is in Geismar. Matt, welcome into the show.
Hey, thanks. How y'all doing tonight?
Good, Matt.
I just wanted to say, first off, wanted to say I'm thinking about the family of Coach Baggs. Really sad what happened. I was excited and encouraged to see all three phases of the game. Looked very good tonight. Just wondering if y'all think it's more an indictment on Arkansas's ability to stop the run, or did LSU finally get the running game figured out tonight?
I think that they are getting better.
Yeah.
They're running the ball a little bit better. We'll do film study on Monday. You can watch that on YouTube with us, the Handycast. But what did you see tonight? In the run game.
First, I want to say thanks for talking about Coach Baggs.
I want to talk about Baggs in a second,
I think that it is LSU's running game has been so close. If you go back and look at the shows we've done on the Handycast and we broke down the film, it's always been one guy off, one guy missing a block. There's about to be a seam. It doesn't get there. I think tonight you're starting to see it coming. I thought those guys, when you're talking about these offside penalties, I thought these guys made a point to control the line of scrimmage, and I thought for the most part they did. I thought they blocked a lot better tonight. But I think it's each week they're getting better, and they're just getting closer and closer to being a complete unit.
Yeah. We talked about, Gordy and I did, about Coach Baglio on the pregame show a little bit. It was just such a shock today to learn that he was in that accident last night. Rich, I said some things in the pregame. I met Charlie Baglio back in the 90s when his Independence teams were in the Superdome and we were calling games, and he was always extremely nice to us. And you couldn't be around the LSU building from the time he started coaching there without everybody knew Baggs, and everybody he knew everybody. Everybody knew him, and every time you see him, he'd have a joke, he'd have a story, he'd have that little chuckle, that little smile. It was really, really just a devastating gut punch to lose him.
You go over the last 24 years of LSU football. It doesn't matter who the coach is. Doesn't matter which regime was in there. You know two guys, Sam Nader and Coach Baggs.
Right.
And those are the two guys that carried LSU football for the last 25 years. And, my dad called me today. He's like, I can't believe it. I mean, he's the guy I talked to the most while you and your brother were both playing at LSU over 9 years. Coach Baggs was the one that met my dad in the parking lot. I mean, he's a guy to me that, you know, he was the calming voice. You know, we call him Coach Baggs. He wasn't a coach on the field, but he was the guy that talked to you after practice. He talked to you after a bad game. He talked to you before. He was always like the father figure that, hey, don't worry about it, we're good. He was like the even kill guy that kept everybody calm in the locker room. I mean, it's a big loss for LSU.
It's a devastating loss, and you know, for the he was a football guy, man.
He was the guy.
Was he
man.
A football guy?
I used to tell him, I said, you got the best job in the world. You got the second office in the building when you walk up there. You greet everybody. You know everybody. I mean, you sit back in there and watch the games. I mean, he to me, you know, like I'm not a born and raised LSU fan. Coach Baggs is everything I know about LSU.
If there was ever a perfect job for him, okay, if you say, let's take, he had a fancy title, but essentially he was a liaison to the high school.
Yeah, no doubt.
The high schools in Louisiana. He won over 200 games at Independence High School, okay? If you could have said, hey, take somebody who knows every high school coach in the state pretty much, and find there's other people that know every high school coach in the state. Find one that is almost universally liked, because coaches, you know, you can't like everybody. Pretty much everybody liked him. If anybody didn't like, I didn't meet him, and I'm not saying that because he's passed. I would have said that, you know, before that. We need somebody who can talk to all these high school coaches, can speak the language, knows what's going on, and who everybody likes. That's him. That's the guy.
The things I remember the most about him, it's every bowl game, every time we played in New Orleans, the guy loved the craps table. And he would get in there the next morning, he'd be like, I hit him for big last night. I hit him big, and he'd get everybody fired up.
He was, he liked to roll the dice, and he liked to play golf.
Yeah.
He's a very good golfer, actually.
He's just an awesome guy. It's terrible loss.
We're gonna miss him. William in Salt Lake is next. William, welcome into the show.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah, man. That's a big win tonight. You know, I actually live right down the street, you know, from the Utah Stadium, but I decided to stay home and watch the Tigers, of course, you know, because I'm not from Utah. I'm just out here for a job.
Gotcha.
And so our schedule coming up, man, it's going to be tough, man. We got A&M, we got Bama. You can't sleep on Florida, and you damn sure can't sleep on Vandy. Like, it's going to be tough, but I think we can do it, especially if we play like we did tonight. It's doable, 100%.
Yeah, I agree. And thank you for the call, William. By the way, Utah is still playing. They're down 10-0 at TCU.
What have you been saying the last 2 weeks?
There is no unwinnable or unlosable game left on the schedule. Probably the one I've changed my opinion about the most, though, over the last few weeks is Florida.
Yeah.
They're a heartbeat away from having a heartbeat at this point. I mean, they dusted Kentucky pretty good tonight. I thought that Billy Napier would have at least some of his things in boxes by now. He's hanging in there. Now, again, their schedule thickens up here a little bit, but he's still there. They don't have – I don't want to say they had quarterback controversy because they were playing both guys, but now with Graham Mertz out, they know that it's DJ Lagway's team to run. He didn't have a big night he didn't complete a lot of passes. He had a big night throwing the ball, but he didn't complete a lot of passes. He was 7 of 14 for 260 yards. So there were a lot of big plays, but he was able to make some plays with his feet as well. And Florida ran right down Kentucky's throat. They ran for almost 200 yards tonight, and they beat Kentucky they were a small underdog at home. They won by 4 touchdowns tonight. So they're still hanging around. Now, again, their schedule thickens up. The next 2 weeks, no. The next 3 weeks, no. The next 4 weeks, they play Georgia, Texas, LSU, and Ole Miss.
That's a tough one.
They'll be underdogs in all 4 of those games. Then they get Florida State at the end of the regular season, which at the beginning of the year looked like a tough game and no longer is. But the next 4 are a monster. And right now, you got to say that if they beat Florida State and they win one of these other games, he might make it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the parity in this league right now. You're talking about them running through Kentucky. Kentucky beat Ole Miss, which was a big win. They played wire to wire with Georgia who just beat the number 1 team in Texas. I mean, everybody is so close.
Oh,
right
the transitive property of football will drive you crazy right now. Beat this, beat that, beat
Figure
that
that
team
one
who
out
beat
right
that
now.
team. Yeah. So you're right. The rest of the schedule is extremely challenging, but there's no game. First of all, there's not the traditional November rental win, and there's not this dead end. There's no way they're going to beat that team.
Yeah.
There were some years with Alabama where it was like, man, look, it would take a miracle. I'm just going to shoot you straight. They don't have that team on the schedule.
No, the toughest game on our schedule is A&M next week. That is going to be your back-to-back road SEC games. I think going even Alabama's going to be tough, even though it's at home. That's back-to-back-to-back SEC games. There's not an easy spot left on the schedule for them.
We started saying that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Florida is the most changed since then. Oklahoma second, but for the other reason, because they're going in the other direction. That's a bad football team.
Yeah,
right now.
I mean that's to me the most surprising. I mean, Venables was the most sought after head coach for a long time. Everybody wanted to pull him away from Clemson.
He was supposed to be Oklahoma's Kirby Smart.
Yeah,
the guy that's turned down a bunch of offers and overtures and stuff to wait for the right job and take a job like Georgia or Oklahoma. And obviously worked out really well for Kirby. It hasn't for Venables.
No, and I think he was in a tough spot with Lincoln Riley leaving, and Lincoln took the offense with him. He took Caleb Williams. He took some key spots, and he has not been able to fill those voids.
You know what Lincoln Riley needs? He needs a closer.
Yeah,
because they have blown some leads, man. He got the worst bullpen in the country.
He lost the opposite side. He had the defense at Oklahoma for a little while. Right now, he don't know. It's tough.
When did he have a defense at
Oklahoma?
Oklahoma?
I was about to say,
old
Oklahoma had the defense.
Yeah, that was before him.
Oklahoma had a defensive reputation before him.
He's never had a defense. But usually they've been able to score enough points to win a bunch of games. Right now, they can't hold a lead to save their life. They lost at Maryland today. I think their biggest lead was 21. Maybe it was 17. I'll go back and look, but they couldn't hold it. 499-9898 is the number to call. Jules is in Abbeville. Jules, welcome into the show.
Well, Charles, speaking of closers, are you going to go with the Yankees or the National League representative?
I figured at the beginning of this thing, I said, this Yankees Dodgers is just too easy. The Mets were swinging such hot sticks for a while there. I thought they might sneak in, and they still might. But I'm going to say the Yankees, but I say that under duress because I don't have a rooting interest if once Cleveland gets knocked out.
Yeah. The false starts, Richard, when you just keep making them like they did, they must have had 6 of them in the first quarter. What causes that?
To me, it's anxiety. It's being antsy. It's trying to get the jump on the next guy. Like the offensive line, early in a game, in a big road SEC game, we see it a lot. You see 1 or 2 early in the game, first drive, maybe everybody gets settled in. It was a little bit shocking how long it lingered. And the ones that frustrated me is you have Kyron Lacey get one, you have Aaron Anderson get one. In a loud game like that, you're not listening to anything. You're not hearing the quarterback. You're looking at the ball. So those two, to me, don't make a lot of sense. But I think in general, I mean, it was odd to me tonight because I understand 1 or 2 getting the jitters out, getting the anxiety out. But to get 7 in the first half is rough.
And Charles, are you concerned at all about Nussmeier made maybe 2 or 3 throws downfield into double coverage that could have easily been intercepted, and I didn't think they really had a chance of either ball being caught. Does that concern you at all with him?
Yes,
but
I've made my peace with the fact that I'm going to get from Garrett Nussmeier through 7 games. I'm going to get a lot of big plays. I'm going to get a lot of good decisions. I'm going to get a confident guy. And once or twice a game, he's going to do something that he probably shouldn't do. But it's a little bit of kind of a poor man's Brett Favre, okay? Brett Favre, made some of the most miraculous plays and miraculous throws you'll ever see. And then there were, some times where you go, man, what are you doing? I've kind of made my peace that's the deal with Nuss. That once or twice a game, he's going to probably get a little bit too aggressive, and I'm going to take I'm going to take the good with the bad. Would I like to eliminate that part of his game? Yeah, but I don't think you can.
No, tonight it was scary because you had 3 dropped interceptions.
The one he threw into the front corner of the end zone.
Bad decision.
That was bad.
The one we talked about earlier, when you get the pass interference, that was a bad decision, and I think that's why they decided to run the clock out in the second half, or to end the first half. There were 2 or 3 of them tonight. I mean, at one point he was 1 for 8 for passes over 10 yards in a game.
Yeah.
He just wasn't hitting it down the field. What he does great is crossing routes and intermediate routes where guys are moving. You know, I don't think Nussmeier is a great deep ball thrower. That's something that he's kind of struggled with. He either overthrows it or he just takes a shot, throws it in double coverage. But it is something that concerns me in a game where you're going to go, you know, like last week, when you're going to go wire to wire in a very tight game, you can't make those bad throws. And that's something that he's going to go back and look at tonight because, you know, he only had 1 ball. His longest reception that was 22 yards. We didn't beat him down the field a lot. He didn't make a lot of big throws. A lot of the throws he made down the field were, you know, 50-50.
On the other hand, there were a couple of plays he made. One of them to Mason Taylor on a 3rd down. I got called back for a holding penalty.
The catch Mason Taylor made was unreal.
It's a terrific throwing catch. The other ball I really liked that he threw because he showed a lot of patience on it was a double move to C.J. Daniels, which I thought had gone for 29 yards, but whatever it was, it might have been 24. That play took a long time to develop.
I don't think that was a double move. That was a play that was shut down. Daniels just decided to roll out and keep going, and he found him. When you go back and watch that play,
did you put that play for Monday?
It was marked down.
Right.
That was not a double move. He tried to hit the hitch route. It was covered, and if you go back and watch it, he's stuttering with his hand.
Yeah, he pulls it almost like he's pulling it back.
He's pulling it back, and Daniels rolls back out down the field, and he hits him deep.
We're giving him credit for that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 499-9898 is the number to call. Tigers win at 34-10. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Get spooktacular savings during the final days of truck season at Supreme Chevrolet in Gonzales and Supreme Chevrolet West in Plaquemine. Get big savings on Supreme's spooktacular selection. Plus, make no payments for 90 days. But you must hurry, as these spooktacular savings end really soon. So together, let's drive to Supreme Chevrolet in Gonzales and Supreme Chevrolet West in Plaquemine, or online at SupremeChevy.com or SupremeChevroletWest.com.
Uh-oh. Sometimes things at work go sideways. It's days like this when your workers' comp carrier matters most.
I was not planning for this today.
When your workday takes an unexpected turn, trust Luba Workers' Comp to provide the support and solutions you need to get everything back to normal. Contact us today to experience genuine dependability in action. Visit us online at lubawc.com or call your independent insurance agent today.
Game got your heart rate up? Know when it's time to see a cardiologist. Every second counts, no matter the playing field. Call Cardiovascular Institute of the South today to stay in the game. Learn more or schedule at cardio.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill, when your friend bets against your team and the friendship. Or choose chill because you're drinking Coors Light with your buddy. Coors Light, choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Rev Business is here to connect your company beyond your storefront. We're here to power your passion, improve your communication, and link you to your customers with the local support you deserve. Backed by our commitment to 5-star reliability, for a limited time, get internet plus 2 hosted phone lines for only $133 per month. A powerful combination at a great price. Restrictions apply. Visit letsrev.biz. Rev Business.
It's time to celebrate Pasta Month at Ruffino's. Whether you're craving one of our signature pasta dishes or want to experience one of our specials, make your plans and reservations at ruffinosrestaurant.com. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Demco believes that championing youth programs helps pave the way for a brighter future. From building the next generation of leaders with the Youth Cooperative Ambassador Program, to giving students the chance to visit Washington, D.C. as part of the Rural Electric Youth Tour, our dedication is clear. At Demco, we power youth. Learn how you can participate at demco.org. That's demco.org.
This truck season, think about all the things you can do in a Chevy truck. You'll be able to Or you can even just... With impressive towing, incredible bed and tailgate functionality, and multiple powertrains, Chevy trucks have what you need to get things done. When you want to do it all, Chevy's got you. See your Super Chevy dealers today.
If you're a small business owner, you've probably noticed how the big banks like to force you into one-size-fits-all financial service products. At Neighbors Federal Credit Union, we've created a suite of flexible commercial checking accounts designed to fit the specific needs of your local business. And with 9 full-service locations throughout Greater Baton Rouge, we're always just around the corner. We're a local small business looking out for other local small businesses. Learn more about Neighbors commercial checking accounts by visiting neighborsfcu.org. Neighbors Federal Credit Union. We're here for you. Insured by NCUA.
At Lewis Mechanical, no plumbing job's too big or too small, and we have the best technicians around. Lewis Mechanical specializes in both commercial and residential plumbing repairs.
Lewis Mechanical, keeping plumbing humming.
Eagle 98.1.
Eagle 98.1 game day continues. Tigers win it by a score 34-10 over Arkansas. 499-9898 is the number on the LeBears hotline. Chaz is in Lafayette. Chaz, welcome into the show.
Hey, man, we can nitpick Nuss all we want, but what other quarterback in the SEC would you take over Nuss? I'm not taking anyone. After the USC game, I don't want to name drop, but Mike D, a lot of you guys, I'm not saying y'all too, said we're going to lose 4 to 5 games. This team has done nothing but progress, especially the defense, with basically the same guys as last year. All right. The only thing I'm worried about is the penalties, the offsides. When we go to A&M next week, it's going to be twice as loud. So they got to figure that out. But I'm impressed with them. Go Tigers. And I wouldn't take anybody else but us driving my bus, guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Chaz. It hadn't been a recurring problem with the false starts. This was unique to tonight.
Yeah.
They didn't have a lot of these things. I mean, not more than the normal amount in the other games.
We had a few early on. I think in the very first game against USC, Campbell had 2 of them.
Yeah, we've had some, but not
like this. This was strange. Like I can't put it all together other than just being antsy and like they've been wanting to just dominate the line of scrimmage. They wanted to get the first step. They wanted to deliver the first blow, and those guys started moving early.
I can't tell you that I would take another quarterback over Nussmeier at this point. Quinn Ewers is looked at as a very high pick in the draft. He got yanked tonight.
Yeah.
They took him out in the second quarter. I know he got hit, and I didn't hear the post game. They took him out. I like Carson Beck an awful lot, but
he makes throws too.
Yes, just as many, if not more, where he puts the ball in jeopardy than Nussmeier does. I watched the Tennessee-Alabama game. If you wanted to trade me either one of those quarterbacks for Nussmeier, you'd have to throw in like 5 draft choices. So, no.
Nobody has a better clutch gene than Nussmeier.
I think Jackson Dart's a good player, but I wouldn't trade him for Nussmeier. No, I think the caller's right. I'm going through my list here. Brady Cook's a nice quarterback in Missouri. Certainly, when he went out of the game today, their offense shut down, and the quarterback Pine that went in was a former starter at Notre Dame. Cook went out in the first drive. He didn't come back until the last drive of the third quarter, about a minute to go in the third quarter, by which point they were down 2 scores. And then Auburn threw up on themselves, and Cook led them, down the field 95 yards. He's a nice player. He's a good quarterback. I wouldn't trade Nussmeier for him.
No,
I wouldn't trade him for Nussmeier.
Nobody facilitates the ball more or better than Nussmeier. I mean, look, where we've struggled is in the run game, but we have a pseudo-passing run game. We got a lot of short hitches, little outside passes that are getting the guys up in space and moving. And I think he makes a lot of great decisions with the ball. I think the only place where he struggles is trying to make the big throw. And so that's where he gets in problems sometimes, is he tries to fit that ball in there. He's got that confidence, what you talked about, like a poor man's Brett Favre back in the day. He's going to take some shots. And, look, that worries you. But for the most part, he makes good decisions.
You know who I might take second? If you gave me all 16 quarterbacks, or actually more than that, have played and started games, All 16 guys. I'm going to take Nussmeier, okay? I'm not talking about for the NFL. I'm not talking about for the draft or any of that stuff. Go win me a football game this Saturday. I'm going to put the same amount of talent on your team as the other team. Pick your quarterback. After Nussmeier, I might take Pavia. I might take Diego Pavia because that little son of a gun will go out there and he going to rip your heart out, man. If you beat him, you're going to have to beat him.
He's a guy that plays with nothing to lose. He's just trying to run it down somebody, make a play.
Teammates gravitate towards him.
Yeah.
He's an underdog because he's not a pro quarterback. He's not the biggest or the strongest. That joker got hard, though.
He's not looked to carry a team, but he just goes out there and makes a play. So, I see where you're coming with.
I mean, obviously, I know Ewers and Beck are going to go higher in the draft and Dart and all that stuff. And, Connor Wegman had a great game against Missouri a couple of weeks ago for A&M. If you just gave me one game, I might take Pavia.
Yeah, go win me a game.
Bradley is in Natchez. Bradley, welcome into the show.
Hey, guys. Actually, I'm on the way back from the game. And all I can think about is next week's game. Man, if we can win at Texas A&M, that puts us in a spot where we get Alabama at our place, maybe at night, for a chance at an 11-win season and a spot in the playoffs. What do you guys think about that?
I want to get through next week.
You got to get through next week, and the other games are no pushovers. Okay, I mean. Florida's got a little something going right now. They're not great, but it's not going to be easy. Vanderbilt, we just talked about them. LSU's going to be favored in that game. The game's in Tiger Stadium. I think that they'll win, but Vanderbilt beat Alabama. They beat Kentucky. They won tonight, avoiding a letdown spot against Ball State. They get Texas next week. I don't think they'll win, but I wouldn't look
close game at the half. Wouldn't surprise me.
Right, exactly. And then Oklahoma's struggling, but again, every game is winnable or losable. Here's what I think you're giddy about, and it's okay. It's welcome even. LSU's going to be favored against Alabama. They haven't been favored against Alabama in quite a long time.
They said it was the first time they've had 2 losses before November since 2007.
That's correct. And do you know who put actually it wasn't LSU because LSU played them in November that year, right?
I know we beat them. I can't remember.
I think it was early November. I think it was the first week in November. LSU, the Burrow team was not favored in Tuscaloosa. They were an underdog, even though they won. The 11 team was not favored, even though they won. They weren't favored in the game where Daniels hit Taylor, even though the game was in Tiger Stadium.
When was the last time they were favored?
I'm pretty sure it was 2007.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll go look it up, but. You haven't been favored to win that game in 17 years, and you're going to be favored. And if you watched Alabama play today, not only are they favored, I'm very confident about LSU's chances in that game. They're better than Alabama.
Oh, yeah, to tie the two games together, what we talked about on Friday is you were worried about, with Perkins being out, spying the quarterback, having a guy against Green. Then we talked about when you go see Milroe. I think Weeks covered him pretty well. It makes you feel a little bit better because Green's an athlete, and the way that we handled him and we're able to keep up with him, it makes you feel better going down the road.
Well, with 3 weeks out there tonight. Yeah. I mean, he was just all over the place. David is in Mandeville on the LeBerge hotline. David, welcome into the show.
Hi, Charlie and Rich.
Hey.
A couple of quick questions. One, Charlie, I know you pretty good with the LSU officials. Can you get LSU and Arkansas to reduce the size of that trophy to about a third? And then defensively, how do you take the 10 points allowed? Is that the defense getting better, or it's just Arkansas's offense? And I'd like to listen to both of y'all comments.
All right. Did you ever have to carry that thing?
Never tried to touch it.
175 pounds?
I was too tired after the game to go run over there and grab it.
It's the gaudiest thing you've ever seen.
Go back and watch just about every video of the guys who carried it.
Yeah,
they didn't play many snaps.
It's 100 and it's heavy and it's bulky. It's not at all easy to move around. I've been around it and the boot part of itself is a little wobbly. And I was always worried that, man, you drop that thing, it might crack. But anyway,
people might have wanted to be.
Or yeah, no kidding. What did you defensively?
I think defense, we had timely turnovers. Look, we were we were giving up a lot of yards early on. I mean, the first drive, 8 plays, they take off 4 minutes. We get a missed field goal, unfortunate for them. The very next drive, first play fumble. The first play turnovers today is what really slowed them down because they come back the next drive, 9 plays, 4 minutes, 39 seconds, touchdown. Then we go an 8-play drive, punt, field goal, then the intercept. To me, they were moving the ball. We just made timely stops. I mean, they hit crossing routes all night, and that's what I'm excited to go back and watch the film. It's easier to watch film after a win because I can go look at it. But we were getting beat on crossing routes a lot. I mean, wide open guys over the middle. It seemed like every time we got in 3rd and long, Green hit somebody right at the sticks. That's something I need to go back and see. But, they made the plays when they had to. Similar to Ole Miss. Ole Miss moved the ball a lot. Every time that they had to make a stop, we'd made one.
You're exactly correct on the turnovers. All 3 of them were in the first play of the drive. The first fumble led to an LSU field goal. The Weeks tip interception led to a touchdown the very next play. And then the third one, the game was pretty much out of range by that point, but that one was on the first play as well. Went back and checked that USC Maryland game. They never led by 3 scores, but they led by 2 touchdowns twice, including in the fourth quarter, and still lost.
That breaks the locker room. I mean, when you're getting those leads and you can't close out, that's when you start to have doubt.
They've had guys, but Bear Alexander, who was their best defensive tackle or their highest rated defensive guy, transferred out after 4 games. After they lost, I forgot if it was Michigan or Minnesota, but after they lose that, this is supposed to be your defensive leader, okay, or at least maybe your best player. He bugs out of there, and then they lose a couple of defensive linemen to injury. So now all of a sudden you've got a problem with defensive front depth. Well, that defensive front was pretty good when LSU played them in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, like I can go on a whole tangent about that.
It's a different team now.
It's a completely different team. But my personal opinion, you got a guy that wants to quit on you after 4 games. Get the hell out. I don't want you on my team.
No, I agree with you. It's the most of all the things that bother people about current day college football. That one bothers me the most. Transfer portal in the offseason, fine. NIL, fine. Revenue sharing, okay. Guys that play 3 or 4 games and then say, I quit, especially if you're playing.
I don't want them on my team next year, whoever they're trying to transfer to. I mean, that to me, it started with the quarterback at UNLV did one. They played better after he was gone.
Yeah.
This guy, I assumed that, without the injuries, they were going to rally around and try to play better because, to me, that's if you're going to quit that early, you were cancer in the locker room. You were never all in. So the team, solidifies around people like that we're going to make it better. But the injuries that follow, you start losing depth, and that's where it starts to become a problem.
They're 3-4 now, and they're 1-4 in Big Ten play. And the only reason I'm bringing them up is if this does come down to a resume thing, this is not helping.
It's a different team.
They lose today by a point. They lost at Michigan in the last minute. They lost at Minnesota. Minnesota had a 4th and goal from the 1, went for it with the score tied in a minute to go and made it.
Yeah.
I mean, they had the lead multiple times against Penn State and lost that game by a field goal. They're an eyelash away from at least 2 more wins, maybe 3, but they're 3-4. You are what your record says you are, and right now their record says that they're not very good. And I'm hoping that never comes home to roost for LSU.
You hope that it's a committee is looking at it as who's the best team now.
Yeah.
And this team got better all year long. This is not the same team that played week 1.
I agree with that, but everything counts. Yeah. LSU is a much better team. That's another good exercise, okay? A lot of people thought, myself included, that Lincoln Riley might be the coach here, him and Brian Kelly. Well, Kelly's teams have gotten better as the season goes. I know Riley won the head-to-head. All of his teams have been better at the end than the beginning. Riley's teams have been worse.
Yeah.
So which one would you rather have?
I just want to be good in the beginning and get great at the end.
Play somebody bad to start the season. Have I told you my week 0 theory?
A few times.
Yeah, too many times. 499-9898 is the number to call. Take a break. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Eagle 98.1 WDGL and AC1 Baton Rouge. Robinson Brothers Ford is where truck and SUV buyers go for big selection and even bigger savings. F-150s, F-250s, Escapes, Explorers, Broncos. We're stocked up and ready to sell your favorite new Fords at a price you love. Right now, save thousands plus pocket big Robinson Brothers cash on 2024 Escapes and 2023 F-150 XLTs. And as always, no unexpected fees. Hurry to Robinson Brothers Ford.
Excludes TT&L registration, insurance, and dealer doc fees. Ford credit bonus cash with approved credit through Ford Motor Credit.
Do you have a big business, small business, or nonprofit? Whether your business is planning its next big step or just taking its first, you can benefit from Gulf Coast Bank & Trust's knowledgeable bankers, their personal service, and business solutions. Gulf Coast Bank & Trust, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Sparked by imagination, creativity is fueled by the arts. Shell's mission is to make communities where we do business better places to live. By supporting the arts up and down the river, Shell is helping creativity thrive. From the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival to the Arts Council of Greater Baton Rouge and the LaFon Performing Arts Center in St. Charles Parish, Shell is the rhythm of Louisiana.
We all know there's something special by growing up in Louisiana. Our culture, our history, how we care for each other cannot be matched anywhere in the world. The same goes for Louisiana Dental Center, local dentists helping local people just like you and me. And of course, for years, proud partners of our beloved LSU Fighting Tigers. Louisiana Dental Center, your dental home team. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Go Tigers!
L'Auberge Casino Hotel Baton Rouge and ESPN Bet want to help you get ready for football season. Download the ESPN Bet app today and explore our action-packed online sportsbook with exclusive odds boosts and cutting-edge features. Then stop in at L'Auberge to catch the action in person. ESPN Bet, Baton Rouge's new home for sports, is now open. Watch every game on our giant screen TVs, plus score great food and drink specials all season. Join us for all the excitement at L'Auberge Baton Rouge. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
This is Skip Bertman, and as a coach for over 50 years and the father of 4 daughters, we've had a lot of happiness and accumulated lots of stuff. When you're single, you start with stuff. Then you get married and double your stuff. And when the girls moved out, what do you do with all that stuff? Dependable Storage has you covered. Their sliding doors are easier to use than those pesky roll-up doors and just as secure. Dependable Storage wants your stuff. DependableStorage.com.
The Toyota Tundra's powerful, available iForce V6 engine means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. To your cousins, the Tundra means... as they jump off the boat onto the sandbar. To your co-pilots, the Tundra means an extra comfortable journey. And to you, the Tundra means, whoa. Toyota is a proud sponsor of LSU Athletics. Go big or go home in a 2025 Tundra. Built to take you wherever the road leads. Find yours today. Toyota, let's go places. See packages and options at toyota.com for feature availability.
River Parish Contractors, South Louisiana's superior local team, with a 32,000 square foot structural steel and fabrication shop. Come take a tour and experience their automated structural and pipe fabrication processes that provide time-efficient, precise, and economical products. When it's time to get building, get River Parish Contractors. To learn more, visit rpcontractors.com. That's rpcontractors.com.
Eagle 98.1.
98.1 game day continues. Tigers win it 34-10 tonight over Arkansas. Rich, when you have a game plan that you put together, you'd like to be able, whether it's offense or defense, to say, I want to show them something they've never seen before. But if you've been around football long enough, you've pretty much seen everything. Tonight, Baker came up with something I don't think I've ever seen before.
I've never seen it.
Which is this alignment of 4 defenders in a single file line, pretty much right over the center, and at the snap, kind of fanning out in an effort to keep Green in the pocket and to rush the passer. So what did you think of that?
Connect Four. I mean, to me, it was very interesting. To me, what it does, it speaks to Baker's youth and ability to try to come up with new things and get guys into it. And look, we're going to take a gamble. We're going to try to get a rush package. I think it worked the first time. It was something new you hadn't seen before. The second time, they tried to bring them 3 of the 4 on a blitz, and they're just too far off of it. But very interesting. I really want to go back and look at it because I'm still intrigued to figure out what the responsibilities were to see how they fanned out.
Okay. You're interested in the defensive guys' responsibilities. Okay. I'm interested as what those offensive linemen were talking about when they got up there, because it's like, who – you got that cat, you got that cat. Who's got who? Because you don't know where they're going.
From the standpoint of that, I mean, you've seen Chavis used to do this a lot at Tennessee, like the mosh posh at the line where everybody's walking around, standing up, they're moving, you don't know where they're coming. But once the ball snaps, everybody goes to a direction. And that's what you're looking for as the offensive line. It might confuse you from a setting the mic call, figuring out where to fan. But once you take your drop step, everybody fills it out for you. They're going to the places where you know you got to look.
One of those things that other coaches are going to have to spend at least a little bit of time on, because he could use this again.
There's a lot of things you do in a game that you're not necessarily trying to hit a home run on, is you're trying to waste the other team's practice. You want them to see different looks, just like we did it all the time. Once we got up, we ran stuff that we weren't going to run to win the game. We ran stuff just to make them practice it.
I also saw you guys run some things in practice that I knew Les was never going to run in the game.
Oh, shoot, half of our spring we never ran once we got to the season.
Gordy and I had a running bet one year. He actually for 2 years. He promised me Spencer Ware was going to be in the Wildcat, and it became a running joke. He said, "I have been to practice. They are running this all the time in practice." I said, "Gordy, I don't think you're lying. He's just never going to run in the game."
No. when Gary Croton first got there, we spent the entire spring. We were going to be a no-huddle team. We were going to call everything. We called fastball, curveball. We had vanilla, chocolate. It was going to tell you which play we were going to call, but we're calling everything from the line. The very first game of the season, we did it for like the first series. People got confused and never ran it again.
You spent the whole
spring running this new fast offense. We're going to run it.
It lasted 3
line.
plays?
3 plays. We never did it again.
Did y'all have the little signage boards where you had like Homer Simpson
it was just
and
simple vanilla,
a bulldog
chocolate.
and an ice cream cone or whatever?
No, we didn't get that creative. It was still kind of called in like the side from the pros, but we were going to go on 2, look to the sideline, get the play, go forward. But like I said, we spent all spring, never ran it.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll use this again. It didn't kill them. It's not like they busted
something. 50-50 on it. It worked the first
Right.
time, didn't the second time. I think it's something, though, that when you get in a 3rd and long, there's going to be situational packages for it to where you can confuse them and make them have to think a little bit more.
This sequence that was so impressive to me, that started with and it came at a time when the game was really very much still in doubt. Okay, at 16-10. You put together a drive that's gotten into Arkansas territory. The drive implodes because of your penalties, not because of anything Arkansas did. And then they get the ball back at the 14-yard line with 5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, and it's still a 1-score game. The Weeks interception, the touchdown, they punch it in immediately. 2-point conversion to Green, 24-10. Arkansas comes out. They get a 24-yard completion on the very first play. And then you get a really good tackle by Weeks on 1st down, a really good tackle by Burns on 2nd down, a sack by Weeks on 3rd down, and they've got to give the ball
the game.
Right back. They got to give the ball right back to you. Then you're able to drive down and get a field goal, and then you kick it back to them. It's 27-10. There's still 10 minutes to go in the game. The broadcast crew was acting like Arkansas still had a chance. I'm like, if that team scores 3 touchdowns or 3 times in 10 minutes, I'll walk backwards from here to Fayetteville. But they were, mathematically they were still in it. Shan gets a sack. You get
your first 3 and out in the game.
Yeah, and you get the big pressure from Swinson to force the incompletion. You get the ball back, and there's still, like I said, just under 10 minutes to go at that point, and you cram it right down their throat. 14 plays, 80 yards, 8.5 minutes, touchdown, 12 runs, 2 passes. Thank you and good night.
That's the drives we've been talking about when a couple games back when they went on the 98-yard drive. There was 7-8 minutes. They went on a couple long drives. That's what Nuss really does well. I mean, we can talk about the inefficiency to hit the ball down the field and make the big plays, but he can carry a drive to where you can run on first down, take a shot on second down, but third and medium, he makes the play every time just to keep you in the game.
Look at this. We figured out how to work the TV. All right. Who is that Shand up at the front?
Shand,
Weeks,
Penn, and Burns.
Okay.
I'd love to see where they go. Like, I know one.
Shand is 4 yards off the ball. I didn't remember that.
I think this is the second time they ran it because we were talking about it. I don't see the advantage in a blitz package because at this point they all have 3 yards to see where you're going to fan out. If you're going to run that, I'd love you to run it right over his nose and make it a little bit faster, make him have to make those decisions. But like I said, I want to go back and look at these 2 plays tomorrow because it's very interesting where they came up with this. You got 2 guys playing the edge. This is all mixed match in the middle. This is all between guard and center and guard where they're going to confuse them. But
Quarters on the back?
I'd have to go see it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you still got 3 guys out wide. I don't know who's over there. It's a very interesting package.
I'm counting defensive backs here.
I'm thinking that Penn drops out. I know one of them that drop out, but it's something that people got to practice.
Tune in for film study this this Monday on the Handycast on YouTube. We'll try and see if we can figure this thing out. All right, we'll take a break here in the studios of the Flagship. We'll come back and take more of a look at this game between LSU and Arkansas. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Hey, this is Jordan Faber with Subaru of Baton Rouge, and if you're in the market for a new vehicle, you've got to put Subaru on the list. You can see all of our inventory online at SubaruBR.com. SubaruBR.com.
Here at Williamson Cosmetic Center and Paranac Aesthetic Surgery, we offer advanced hair loss treatments to restore your natural hairline and gain your confidence back. Schedule your consult today and take the first step towards a fuller, more vibrant you.
Hey, I'm David Bergeron, Vice President and Branch Manager of Louisiana Land Bank in Opelousas. A lot of people ask me, do y'all just deal with farmers? At Louisiana Land Bank, it could be a part-time farmer to just a person want to buy land, doctors, lawyers, nurses, plant supervisors. We can help anyone that has a dream to own land. So if you don't know Louisiana Land Bank, you should get to know us. We'll take good care of you. Give me a call. I'm David Bergeron at Louisiana Land Bank.
Don't have time for cold or flu?
I don't have time for the cold or the flu.
We're here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. When you don't have time to be sick, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours. We're close by with 16 convenient locations in and around Baton Rouge, open 7 days a week with extended hours and no appointment necessary or long wait times. Find the clinic nearest you at lakeurgentcare.com.
This truck season, think about all the things you can do in a Chevy truck. You'll be able to, or you can even just, with impressive towing, incredible bed and tailgate functionality, and multiple powertrains, Chevy trucks have what you need to get things done. When you want to do it all, Chevy's got you. See your Super Chevy dealers today.
At Pipe & Steel Industrial, it all starts with safety, but there is so much more. Pipe & Steel executes large and small cap projects, maintenance support, fabrication, turnarounds, and offers emergency field and shop response to ensure client success and satisfaction. Whether you're in need of material procurement, metal building work, or anything else from your industrial contractor, Pipe & Steel is your answer. The team at Pipe & Steel guarantees immaculate quality, competitive pricing, and a timely response, always safely and efficiently. For more information, please visit pipeandsteelindustrial.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill, when your friend bets against your team and the friendship. Or choose chill because you're drinking Coors Light with your buddy. Coors Light, choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Running Board's digital advertising vehicles are perfect for advertising. Eye-level digital screens with animation or video to get exposure for your event or business.
Better than billboards.
Reach any audience, anywhere, anytime. Cost-effective and no contracts. Jorco.biz. JORCO.biz.
Get spooktacular savings during the final days of truck season at Supreme Chevrolet in Gonzales and Supreme Chevrolet West in Plaquemine. Get big savings on Supreme's spooktacular selection. Plus, make no payments for 90 days. But you must hurry, as these spooktacular savings end really soon. So together, let's drive to Supreme Chevrolet in Gonzales and Supreme Chevrolet West in Plaquemine, or online at SupremeChevy.com or SupremeChevroletWest.com.
Uh-oh. Sometimes things at work go sideways. It's days like this when your workers' comp carrier matters most.
I was not planning for this today.
When your workday takes an unexpected turn, trust Luba Workers' Comp to provide the support and solutions you need to get everything back to normal. Contact us today to experience genuine dependability in action. Visit us online at lubawc.com or call your independent insurance agent today.
Eagle 98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day Stat Check. Presented by Luba Workers Comp. Luba Workers Comp. Delivering genuine dependability.
Before I get to the yardstick, I got a text during the break from Chris Blair and Todd Politz, from the drive. 8:22, LSU's longest drive since 2014. I got like 3 minutes during the break, so I gotta come up with this. I'm like, that was the Ole Miss game. That I remember. All right, so yeah. Well, hang on a second. They had two in that game. The drive that was longer in time, LSU had a 17-play. Tell me this ain't right out the Les Miles playbook. 17 plays, 90 yards, 9 minutes and 7 seconds. Kicked a field goal. Okay, the analytics guys would have gone berserk. All right. Down 7-0, they kick a field goal to make it 7-3. And then later in the game, actually very late in the game, in the fourth quarter, LSU still down 7-3. They get the ball at their own 5-yard line and put together a 13-play, 95-yard drive that took 6 minutes off the clock. They scored a touchdown, go up 10-7, and that was the final score. Of those 13 plays that they ran in the fourth quarter, starting at 11 minutes, how many of them were runs, Richard?
11.
12.
I was close.
Okay. Which one was the pass?
The touchdown.
The last one.
Yeah.
Yeah. They threw it to Logan Stokes. So that might have been, he might have scored 2 touchdowns, 1 or 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That might have been his only one. Now that I think of it. Because I remember doing the post game, and it's like, of all the people they're going to throw to, Logan Stokes, who was a blocking tight end that they had brought in, and, Les wouldn't throw the ball at tight end. I got to tell you this, like you didn't know. After Croton left, man, you were like, please throw me the ball.
It was after the interception year in 08. He was never going to throw the ball to the middle of the field again.
So they run it.
It's funny you say that. I talked to Logan Stokes last week when I was at the Ole Miss game, and we were talking about his one touchdown, and then we're going to bring it back up on this.
That was it. Hilliard for 2, Hilliard for 18, Hilliard for 8, Melvin Jones for 6 yards. Get the ball to fullback. Hilliard for 16, Fournette for 5, Fournette for 2, Hilliard for 2, Hilliard for 1, Fournette for 22, Fournette for 6, Melvin Jones no gain to the 3, Logan Stokes 3-yard pass from Anthony Jennings.
There was way too many 1 and 2-yard runs in there for a 95-yard drive.
More than a few. That was the Bo Wallace game.
Okay,
good Bo, bad Bo. Well, LSU's defense was really good that night. They held Bo Wallace in check, and LSU finally put together a drive. All right, tonight's game. LSU 26 first downs to 15, total yards 393 to 277 for the Tigers. Passing yards 235 for LSU, 239 for the Hogs. Rushing 158 for LSU on 37 carries, 4.3 yard average, 38 rushing yards on 19 attempts, 2 yards even for Arkansas. One of the more impressive stats of the game. LSU, another impressive stat, was 9 of 15 on third down. Arkansas was 4 out of 9. The penalties were the bummer: 11 for 80 yards for LSU, 7 for 78 yards for Arkansas. Hogs turned the ball over 3 times. LSU never did. LSU time possession 38-53 to 21-07 for Arkansas. Individually, Garrett Nussmeier 23 of 34, 233 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Taylon Green 21 of 31, 239, and touchdown and an interception. Caden Durham, 21 carries, 101 yards, and 3 touchdowns, averaging 4.8 per carry. Caleb Jackson, I think this is his most extensive action since the opener. 5 carries for 30 yards. Josh Williams with 5 carries for 18 yards. Jaquindon Jackson, who was in and out of the game for Arkansas, he got knocked around pretty good, got sent back to the locker room at one point in the second half. 5 carries for 26 yards was their leading rusher. C.J. Daniels, 7 catches for 86 yards and almost pulled an OBJ.
That was unreal. It was really close.
The fact that he even got a hand up.
The way he picked up the helmet and the ball at the same time when he stood up.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing with both your hands at this point?
He's got giant hands, I'm guessing. Kyron Lacey, 6 catches for 49 yards. Aaron Anderson, 3 for 36. He took one off the turf. I thought
Crucial time.
I thought it was a third down.
Yeah, it was a third down. I thought it was a catch.
Yeah.
The announcers were trying to say, I'm like, look, I thought that they said early on in the game, you can have possession of the ball and it touch the ground as long as you have possession of it. And that's what I think he had.
With some of the things I saw tonight, not necessarily in the LSU game, but in some of the other games, I'm glad they didn't review it.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. Andrew Armstrong, 7 catches for 94 yards and a touchdown to lead Arkansas tonight. LSU with 2 fumble recoveries, one by Major Burns and one by Devon Keys, who saw his first extensive action. If you were wondering who number 42 was, I got a couple of texts about that. Freshman linebacker from Texas, very highly rated guy with a bright future. He got in a little bit tonight. Defensively, Whit Weeks led the way, like you didn't know that. 9 tackles tonight, 5 solos. He had a tackle for loss, a sack, and a pass defense. Greg Penn and Major Burns both had 6 tackles tonight. Danikio Slaughter with 7 solos, 10 total tackles for Arkansas, and Xavier Sori with 9 tackles tonight for Arkansas, who did not record a sack. Weeks had the 1 interception for LSU. Damian Ramos, 4 for 4 on field goals along, was 48 tonight, which is a career long for him. Matthew Shipley was 1 of 2 for Arkansas. LSU punted once. It was 34 yards down to 14-yard line. Arkansas punted 3 times for a 50.7-yard average, and that is your yardstick. We've got a couple of games left in progress right now, but we'll do our final scoreboard when we return here. Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you. Learn more at ochsner.org/endcancer.
Looking for a new SUV? Then look no further than Service Chevrolet Cadillac. Take your pick. Take $5,000 off the MSRP when you choose a new 2024 Chevy Trailblazer, Colorado, or new 2025 Malibu. That's $5,000 off at Service Chevrolet Cadillac, your super Chevy dealer. Stop by or log on at servicegm.com. Chevy, together let's drive. Trailblazer dealer discount $4,500, GM rebate $500, Colorado and Malibu $5,000 dealer discount, plus tax, title, license, and fees. In stock units only. Offers expire on 10/31/24.
As we all live longer, age is really just a number, but retirement is so much more than one. Edward Jones Financial Advisors want to know what you want out of your retirement so we can help you get there. Together, we can look at the big picture and make a strategy to help you reach your goals. Because you can't prepare for the unexpected if you don't know where you're headed. Call your local Edward Jones office to schedule an appointment today. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
In Denham Springs, call Sims White, and in Donaldsonville, call Matt LeBlanc.
Roto-Rooter of Baton Rouge are the plumbing experts you've trusted for over 75 years. You can rely on Roto-Rooter's plumbers for fast expert service. Visit online at rotorooterbr.com or call 925-8710 and away those troubles down the drain.
Whoa, he got a new truck and he lifted it.
Lifted trucks are sexy.
You can take the girl out of the LP, but you can't take the LP out of... Wait, you're still in the LP.
Yeah, lifted trucks are sexy. Bigger rims and a big running board so I can hop in.
Ooh, let me guess, Alpha Customs.
Yep, bigger is better. Bigger tires, tinted windows, new bed liners.
Alpha Customs on Airline Highway in Prairieville and Lafayette?
Yep, and alphacustoms.net.
Dude, be an alpha. alphacustoms.net.
There are trucks, then there's the truck. GMC Sierra, with available features like the V8 engine, the ultimate luxury interior, and of course, the available world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra, not just any truck, the truck. GMC's continued commitment to professional-grade engineering is on full display at your Bayou GMC dealer. Come take a test drive today and see for yourself. We are professional-grade GMC.
You can find Rouse's Market's brand of products on every aisle of their stores. These are the best quality products at the best price and compared to leading national brands that Rouse's Market sells, but at a lower cost. Most of Rouse's Market's brand is made right here at home. But Rouse's Markets travels the world, too. And they personally taste and try and guarantee everything in their brand. So, if the Rouse's Markets name is on the label, you can trust it's good.
This is Will Campbell with the Tigers. Louisiana National Bank is committing to making every interaction with its customers an experience that's more exceptional than any you've ever encountered. If you're looking for a teammate to help you achieve your financial dreams, come see one of the Louisiana National Bank's uncommon bankers. Equal housing lender. Member FDIC.
No tricks, only treats at Sterling Kia in Lafayette.
Take $6,000 off the MSRP or finance at 2.99% APR for 72 months on all remaining new 2024 Kia Sportage X-Pro Prestige in stock. No time to make the drive? Let Sterling deliver your new Kia to you. Start shopping online. SterlingKiaLafayette.com. Sterling Kia, where we drive for excellence. Dealer discount $3,000. Kia Motor America bonus cash $3,000. $1,544 per month for $1,000 borrowed. Finance with Kia Motor America. WAC plus TTNL. Offers end 10/31/24. Complimentary delivery 250 miles from dealership.
Eagle 98.1.
The Robinson Brothers Ford Lincoln College Football Scoreboard. Robinson Brothers Ford Lincoln on airline under the giant American flag.
Believe it or not, we got two games that are left in progress. UNLV leads Oregon State 33-25 with about a minute to go there. Vegas has got Boise next week. They're if they hold on here, they're 6-1. That game could have Group of 5 in the playoff implications next week. TCU leads Utah 13-7. That game's early in the fourth quarter. Earlier finals today. Number 5 Georgia beats number 1 Texas 30-15. Travis Etienne scored 3 touchdowns for Georgia, who led this thing 23-0 at the half. We don't have time to get into it tonight, but you're gonna see and hear all week about the pass interference flag that was picked up after the Texas crowd went absolutely berserk and started throwing bottles on the field. It was the right call, but the wrong enforcement of it. You can't let a judgment call. You cannot pick up a flag on a judgment call. They did. Believe me, I wish for just one day you could pick up a flag on a judgment call. It would have been the Superdome in 2019 in January of that year. But Georgia answered the 15 points that Texas got in the third quarter with a touchdown. They win at 32-15. Number 6, Miami stays unbeaten. They are 7-0. They beat Louisville 52-45 in a shootout. Cam Ward threw 4 touchdown passes for the Hurricanes. Number 11, Tennessee beat number 7, Alabama 24-17. This was an ugly game. 6 total turnovers in this game. Alabama, the bottom line was that they couldn't run the football. They averaged 2 yards a carry, and Tennessee averaged 5. Yeah. If not for the turnovers, this would have been maybe a little bit more lopsided, but it was 7-0 Alabama at the half. Tennessee kind of dominated in the second half. Jalen Milroe threw a couple of picks, including one that put the game away for Tennessee. Number 9, Iowa State stayed unbeaten. They needed a late touchdown to beat UCF 38-35. Cyclones now are 7-0. Number 10, Clemson won their 6th straight. They beat Virginia 48-31. Cade Klubnik threw for 308 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's LSU, Texas A&M, and Clemson. All lost non-conference games in week 1. All have won 6 straight since then. Number 12, Notre Dame beat Georgia Tech 31-13. Georgia Tech was without starting quarterback Haynes King in this game. Number 14, Texas A&M beat Mississippi State 34-24. Hey, is it just me, or does Mississippi State have like a heartbeat?
I feel like that offense is starting to get things going. He's starting to move the ball. They've put up points in the last 2 games.
Yeah, they were. I don't think they were ever going to win this game, but kind of like the one they played before. They're 1-6, but they're 1-6 with at least a little semblance of hope. This is going to be a tough deal for Jeff Levy.
think it's similar to like Auburn. Auburn is what they're 2-4 or whatever their schedule is, but they're playing. They're starting to play better.
I don't want to talk about Auburn. I'm mad at Auburn.
Auburn is so close in every game they lose.
Auburn did this to themselves today again. Okay, I'll get to that in a second. Number 16, Indiana blew out Nebraska 56-7. The Hoosiers are 7-0. First time since 1967. They are 4-0 in Big Ten play. They intercepted freshman quarterback Dominic Raiola 3 times in this game, and what I thought would be a really close game, they ran away with it. Number 17, Kansas State moved to 6-1. They beat West Virginia 45-18. Number 19, Missouri beat Auburn 21-17. Now, here's what happened. Brady Cook, the starting quarterback from Missouri, goes out of this game in the first quarter. After the first series, they said, well, he's going to go tape him up and he'll be back in. He didn't get back until there was a minute to go in the third quarter, but he led 2 scoring drives in the fourth quarter. One of them was 95 yards to win it for Auburn, who just can't get out of their own way. I'm sorry. They're 2-5, 0-4 in the SEC. Number 21, SMU. Since they made the change at quarterback to Kevin Jennings, this has been one of the more powerful offenses in the country. They scored 40 more today. They beat Stanford 40-10. Ponies now 6-1, 3-0 in the ACC. Number 21, Illinois beat number 24, Michigan 21-7. The defending national champs have now lost for the 3rd time. Number 23, Army. Look, take the service academies. 2/3 of the service academies are rolling. The Air Force is not very good this year, but the Army and the Navy, they're crushing people. Army wins today over East Carolina 45-28. They go to 7-0, 6-0 in conference play. The quarterback, Bryson Daly, 5 touchdowns on the ground and 1 touchdown through the air. Nice job, young man. Between him and the Navy.
I thought you were going to shock me and say 5 touchdowns in the air. I was going to be like,
no, he 171 yards on 31 carries and 5 touchdowns. He also threw a touchdown pass. And if you ask me to pick between the Army quarterback and the Navy quarterback, it's really close. Yeah. They're both having great years. Speaking of Navy, the number 25 midshipmen went to 6-0 today. They scored 51 points against Charlotte, won 51-17. Blake Horvath is the quarterback I'm talking about. He threw 3 touchdown passes today and had another 56 yards on the ground. So the Service Academy quarterbacks are having.
I gotta go look at that Navy game. I mean, the team, they beat them 51-17, and they almost had 100 yards more of total offense than Navy did.
All I know is it was 38-10 at the half.
I gotta go see what happened.
Wisconsin beat Northwestern 23-3. UCLA hung on to beat Rutgers 35-32. Ethan Garbers, remember him from the LSU game. He threw 4 touchdown passes for the Bruins today. Wake Forest beat UConn 23-20. It was Cincinnati over Arizona State 24-14. UL Lafayette moves to 6-1, 3-0 in the Sun Belt. They win 34-24 over Coastal Carolina. This was one of the more surprising scores of the day. South Carolina beat Oklahoma 35-9. This was 32-3 at the half. Oklahoma changed quarterbacks. Jackson Arnold burned his red shirt, went back in the game, and he threw for 225 yards, but they got routed in this game, and Oklahoma is now 4-3, 1-3 in SEC play. Eastern Michigan beat Central Michigan 38-34. It was Temple over Tulsa 20-10. NC State beat Cal 24-23. Kansas got their second win of the season. They beat Houston 42-14. Jalen Daniels threw for 247 yards and 3 touchdowns. Washington State goes to 6-1. They beat Hawaii 42-10. Old Dominion beat Texas State 24-14. It was Miami of Ohio over Ohio 30-20. Bowling Green beat Kent State 27-6. Western Michigan over Buffalo 48-41. Toledo over Northern Illinois 13-6. South Florida beat UAB 35-25. UTSA over Florida Atlantic 38-24. Tulane beat Rice 24-10. Tulane's only 2 losses to Kansas State and Oklahoma. Maryland came from behind to beat USC 29-28. Turtles trailed by 2 touchdowns twice in this game, but came back to win it despite 373 yards through the air for Billy Edwards Jr., who is their quarterback. Colorado, another big win. Buffaloes are playing well. They beat Arizona 34-7 today. Shadir Sanders threw a couple of touchdown passes. Colorado's now 5-2. Baylor got a win, their first in Big 12 play. They beat Texas Tech 59-35. New Mexico beat Utah State 50-45. San Jose State over Wyoming 24-14. Georgia Southern over James Madison 28-14. Vanderbilt over Ball State 24-14. Diego Pavia 275 yards through the air, 82 yards on the ground. Touchdown pass, touchdown run. Arkansas State beat Southern Miss 44-28. Michigan State beat Iowa 32-20. Memphis over North Texas 52-44. Florida beats Kentucky 48-20. Gators now 4-3 on the season. DJ Lagway, it's his job now, threw for 259 yards on only 7 completions today. And Colorado State beat Air Force 21-13. I told you 2/3 of the military schools are doing well. Air Force is 1-6. The Army and the Navy are both undefeated at this point. And I think we got a final, 33-25. UNLV beat Oregon State. So that one has come to it.
Couldn't get your last touchdown for you.
Couldn't get just needed one more. A couple in-state schools. Southern won. It was homecoming on the Bluff. They beat Alcorn State 24-14. And Grambling beat Arkansas Pine Bluff 31-21. And that is your college football scoreboard. Game balls are next. Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
This planet is so incredibly beautiful that I can't get enough of it. I did 950 miles on the Pacific Crest Trail, and Good Feet was with me all the way.
Are you worried about pain and discomfort? Don't let your feet get in the way. Learn how the Good Feet store can help you.
Your passion's important, but if your body aches and if your heel feels like you've got a nail stuck in it and won't come out, trust me, it's going to wear you down. The Good Feet store knew what they were talking about and took the time to really dial in what I needed. I hiked 84 miles in the Himalaya and to do it pain-free. You think I'm not grateful for Good Feet?
You deserve a better life, too. Come to the Good Feet store today. Visit the store in Baton Rouge in Town Center next to AT&T or in Lafayette on Ambassador Caffrey Parkway, or book your free fitting at goodfeet.com. Good Feet, because you deserve comfort in your life. No waiting required. Good Feet arch supports are immediately available and proudly made in the USA.
It's always great to have a winning edge. And when you're in a professional-grade GMC, you can tackle every day like a champ when you take the field in the GMC Yukon Denali Ultimate. Break from the huddle of ordinary with 15-inch diagonal head-up display. Great for long-scoring drives. And whether at home or away, travel in 16-way power front seats with massage features in your GMC Yukon. Test drive a game-winning Yukon today at your Bayou GMC dealer.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill, when your friend bets against your team and the friendship. Or choose chill because you're drinking Coors Light with your buddy. Coors Light, choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Do you plan to travel, work part-time, or move somewhere warmer when you retire? At Edward Jones, we understand that no two retirement paths are the same. Contact your local financial advisor today.
In Baton Rouge, call Katherine Johnson. In Zachary, call Daniel Gomez. And in Central, call Lance Mouillon.
Edward Jones, member SIPC.
We all know there's something special by growing up in Louisiana. Our culture, our history, how we care for each other cannot be matched anywhere in the world. The same goes for Louisiana Dental Center. Local dentists helping local people just like you and me. And of course, for years, proud partners of our beloved LSU Fighting Tigers. Louisiana Dental Center, your dental home team. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Go Tigers!
Have an older home, but want to make life a little easier? Well, home automation may be the way to go. Here's Sean Doré with Mr. Electric.
For a house that's already built, already has its electrical in place, using Wi-Fi switches, things that can be controlled by voice commands, is the way to go. It makes it very convenient, and it's easy to get those things installed by a licensed electrician.
For more information, call Mr. Electric today or see us on Facebook.
This truck season, think about all the things you can do in a Chevy truck. You'll be able to, or you can even just, with impressive towing, incredible bed and tailgate functionality, and multiple powertrains, Chevy trucks have what you need to get things done. When you want to do it all, Chevy's got you. See your Super Chevy dealers today.
You can find Rouse's Market's brand of products on every aisle of their stores. These are the best quality products at the best price and compared to leading national brands that Rouse's Market sells. but at a lower cost. Most of Rouse's Markets brand is made right here at home. But Rouse's Markets travels the world too, and they personally taste and try and guarantee everything in their brand. So if the Rouse's Markets name is on the label, you can trust it's good.
Eagle 98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Game Balls. Presented by WCK Foundation Repair. WCK Foundation Repair. Support your home team. WCK Foundation Repair.
All right, you first.
Surprise.
Wid Weeks.
I'll give, yeah. That's what I'm going with.
9 total tackles, 5 solos, and assists, tackle for loss, and a pass defense.
The timely stats. It's the interception.
Yeah.
It's the sack on the third down. I mean, he just changed the game in the second half.
No argument. Let me give C.J. Daniels a game ball tonight. 7 catches, 86 yards, led the way for LSU, and it looked like he missed last week's game with an injury. It looked like he had to tough it out more than once tonight. So and almost came up with the miracle catch, but he caught everything he was supposed to catch. So I give him a game ball. And Caden Durham, who had 101 yards tonight on 21 carries and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I think that his first touchdown, just playing through it. A guy tried to pull him down by his shoulder. He fought through it. I mean, he's a tough runner.
They gave the game ball, one of the game balls, to Damian Ramos.
Deserved.
4 for 4. It helped LSU maintain the lead all the way through. One of them from 48, one of them from 47. So these weren't exactly just gimmies.
Yeah.
And Ramos had a big night. So those are our game balls in LSU's 34-10 victory. Tigers move to 3-0 in Southeastern Conference play, 6-1 overall. They'll be moving up a little bit in the polls. And next week's game against Texas A&M will be for first place in the Southeastern Conference. There'll only be one undefeated team in conference play after next week. We'll come back and wrap it up here. LSU wins at 34-10, Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Brandon Holly here. Siding, windows, even doors. ReliefWindows.com.
Eagle 98.1, WDGL and HC1 Baton Rouge.
The Toyota Tundra's powerful, available iForce V6 engine means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. To your cousins, the Tundra means as they jump off the boat onto the sandbar. To your co-pilots, the Tundra means an extra comfortable journey. And to you, the Tundra means whoa. Toyota is a proud sponsor of LSU Athletics. Go big or go home in a 2025 Tundra. Built to take you wherever the road leads. Find yours today. Toyota, let's go places. See packages and options at toyota.com for feature availability.
This planet is so incredibly beautiful that I can't get enough of it. I did 950 miles on the Pacific Crest Trail, and Good Feet was with me all the way.
Are you worried about pain and discomfort? Don't let your feet get in the way. Learn how the Good Feet store can help you.
Your passion's important, but if your body aches and if your heel feels like you've got a nail stuck in it and won't come out, trust me, it's going to wear you down. The Good Feet store knew what they were talking about and took the time to really dial in what I needed. I hiked 84 miles in the Himalaya and to do it pain-free. You think I'm not grateful for Good Feet?
You deserve a better life, too. Come to the Good Feet store today. Visit the store in Baton Rouge in Town Center next to AT&T or in Lafayette on Ambassador Caffrey Parkway, or book your free fitting at goodfeet.com. Good Feet, because you deserve comfort in your life. No waiting required. Good Feet arch supports are immediately available and proudly made in the USA.
You can find Rouse's Markets brand of products on every aisle of their stores. These are the best quality products at the best price and compared to leading national brands that Rouse's Market sells, but at a lower cost. Most of Rouse's Markets brand is made right here at home. But Rouse's Markets travels the world too, and they personally taste and try and guarantee everything in their brand. So if the Rouse's Markets name is on the label, you can trust it's good.
L'Auberge Casino Hotel Baton Rouge and ESPN Bet want to help you get ready for football season. Download the ESPN Bet app today and explore our action-packed online sportsbook with exclusive odds boosts and cutting-edge features. Then stop in at L'Auberge to catch the action in person. ESPN Bet, Baton Rouge's new home for sports, is now open. Watch every game on our giant screen TVs, plus score great food and drink specials all season. Join us for all the excitement at L'Auberge Baton Rouge. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
This truck season, think about all the things you can do in a Chevy truck. you'll be able to. Or you can even just. With impressive towing, incredible bed and tailgate functionality, and multiple powertrains, Chevy trucks have what you need to get things done. When you want to do it all, Chevy's got you. See your Super Chevy dealers today.
We all know there's something special by growing up in Louisiana. Our culture, our history, how we care for each other cannot be matched anywhere in the world. The same goes for Louisiana Dental Center. Local dentists helping local people just like you and me. And of course, for years, proud partners of our beloved LSU Fighting Tigers. Louisiana Dental Center, your dental home team. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Go Tigers!
There are trucks. Then there's the truck, GMC Sierra, with available features like the V8 engine, the ultimate luxury interior, and of course, the available world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra, not just any truck, the truck. GMC's continued commitment to professional-grade engineering is on full display at your Bayou GMC dealer. Come take a test drive today and see for yourself. We are professional-grade GMC.
Eagle 98.1.
Eagle 98.1 game day wrapping up here. The Tigers with a decisive win up in Fayetteville. So here's the schedule. Tomorrow, football Sunday from the Beau Rivage on ESPN Radio here in Baton Rouge. We'll take the Saints are not playing tomorrow, thankfully. But we'll get you the rest of the day in the NFL. Live at lunch on Monday starting at 10 a.m. The Brian Kelly press conference will be a part of that. Coach's show from TJ Ribbs on Thursday night. And then LSU and Texas A&M 6:30 kickoff has been set by the league, so we'll be on the air at 1:30 from Rouse's for pregame next week for LSU and Texas A&M, which will determine what team stays undefeated the longest in Southeastern Conference play. Big weekend in college football. A lot of stuff happened. LSU took care of business. Decisive win up in Fayetteville. 34-10 is our final score. From all of us here at the flagship, I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good evening. This has been Eagle 98.1 Game Day.